Good morrow, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to 1,000 Mile Coffee. My name is David.
I'm Jason.
And, of course, we have Mike again.
Yeah, we got Mike back with us this week. We enjoyed it so much, we just had to bring him back on here so we could...
We made the mistake of feeding him. Now he won't go away.
Heck yeah.
Kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Now, kitty, that's my pie.
Bad kitty. Row.
All right, meow. The reason we brought him back on here is... the reason we got him back on here is, you know, we've already said, you know, we went through CDL school and got ours. And that's how you got to do it nowadays. But back when he started driving, he was no pun,
Back in 10 BC.
no pun intended here, but you was grandfathered in. And I wanted you to explain. Any new driver comes in and hears an old driver say, "Oh, I was grandfathered in." They'll know what they mean by that.
Well, grandfather means when I got my license, there was no CDL. It wasn't a commercial driver's license. It was either a class 1, class 2, or class 3, which is basically like A, B, and C. I had my class 1, and when they came out with this new law, CDL, I've had my license like 4 years before they came out with the CDL, and I had to take an open book test. And I took an open book test, mailed it to Albany, and I passed the test. And then they grandfathered me in by giving me my license. I didn't have to take the road test because I already had a CDL, class 1,
Right.
which was a CDLA.
Right.
Now,
Gotcha.
how did you go about getting your Class 1?
Right. Was there any difference?
Just a road test.
Just a road test?
I mean,
There was
did you
no other additional
No.
training or anything, just a road test?
No.
Well, did you have to have a semi to do the road test or
I took my road test on a dump truck
with the trailer?
with a trailer,
Yeah.
and that was it.
They used to do that. Well, now with your CDLs, they used to let you do as long as you had a Class B vehicle with a trailer, then that would classify as Class A because it gives you your combination. And they did away with that. They don't do that no more.
No more. But it was a lot easier then than it is now. We didn't have to
Right.
go through this, this course and all that stuff, and all the pre-trips and all that.
So this way, if you ever hear somebody say, "Oh, I was grandfathered in," they called it Class 1. I think my grandfather, not my grandfather, my great uncle. I think he told me it was classified as a chauffeur license.
Some people refer to the chauffeur. In New York, it wasn't chauffeur's license, just a class 1.
Right.
And then you had your regular driver's license.
Gotcha. Okay.
We didn't have any of that stuff.
So if you hear somebody say that, you know what they meant. And I want to touch back on something. When we had Mike on here, we talked about common courtesy. And all three of us here have dealt with this, and I wanted to bring it on because I forgot to mention it. Don't leave stuff for other drivers. Repairs, and what I'm talking about there is repairs. You hook up and the light's out on the trailer, don't replace the light. Fix the problem. Don't leave it for the next driver to deal with and take his time. If you got a flat tire, let somebody know. Fix it, or at least send into the company. Call your boss. Hey man, this tire's flat. I'm gonna drop it here. It needs to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
That way, I've picked several of our trailers up, and the beads are broke off the wheel. I can't do nothing with that, and now I'm wasting 3 or 4 hours getting it fixed.
And that could have been That could have been done from the driver before you.
Exactly.
And it could have been taken care of before you picked up that trailer, and you wouldn't have to deal with it.
Right. And to be fair, he might not have known. I'll admit that he could have picked something up, dropping the trailer, and when he did his post trip, the tire was aired up. He didn't know.
Yes and no, but see what a lot of these drivers don't understand. They think that most of the bosses are dumb, that they can get one over. But a lot of the people that are in the office were on the road. They did that before. So when they say, "Oh, it wasn't there when it happened this way," no. We know 98% of the time how it happened.
Right.
So the excuse that you give, it doesn't fly.
And
well,
what?
I mean, that excuse might work for your bigger companies. You have the college interns who are in here just for work hours and stuff like that.
Never seen a truck, never drove a truck.
Exactly. Yeah. But you get your mom and pop operations like we're here, your smaller companies. Again, most of the people working at the office, they drove a truck.
Exactly.
They know. A truck.
They know.
Any excuse you come up with, They know it. They've heard it.
And we've given it to our employees that we had it before. So, I mean, like, we know.
See, the way I look at it, and I was taught this at a young age, when you're dealing with any kind of equipment, stuff's going to break. You're going to tear something up.
Of course it is.
You know, it happens. I mean, that's the best way to say it. Own it and fix it. Yeah, hey boss, I messed this up. I can't. I've called my boss several times. Hey bud, I was backing up and backed into a dirt mound out here at this business, and it bent the ICC bumper in. Okay, we'll get it.
You backed into a dirt mound with your horse.
Well, I'm saying,
they prefer the honesty instead of being lied, because you know how it makes the boss feel. It makes them feel like, you think I'm an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, you think I'm a fool. Be honest about it, and they'll accept it better than if you lie.
Well, and
that is a bit, sorry, Jason. Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, and not just that about the whole lying on something, but you work here in the office. If I call you and say, "Hey, Mike, this is what happened," are you going to second guess that for me? You've worked with me long enough now to know I'm going to tell you the truth.
Of course.
I'll own my mistake. To where if it's somebody, not saying David does this, but David calls Mike and David lies every time you turn around. He doesn't.
No.
Disclaimer, he doesn't. He's sitting here. I can see the hate glare he's giving me.
Now, you know how your drivers are. You know from their past and how they are now. You can tell who does what and what does who. You know,
right. Like if that was the case and then he called you and said, "Hey, this is what happened," you're going to be like, "No, that's not what happened." So just be honest about it. You're going to tear stuff up. Stuff's going to happen. Own the mistake. Now, we've done in the past with David's tools on repairing stuff. And Mike, I know you've been on the road for a while. If there's something you can fix on the road, are you going to fix it on the road?
Oh, yeah, I will. Yeah.
Or are you going to call your dispatcher and say, "Hey, this is a problem. I need you to get me to a shop," and waste 3 or 4 hours of your day?
No.
Or longer.
If I'm on the road, if I can fix it, I'll fix it. Like, there's times I've called up my boss at the time and I would say, "Listen, the truck is giving a certain noise. I'll go out and look for it. Give them, it might be the alternator. It could be a loose belt. It's not starting because of a fuse." From my experience, I give him a down size of what it is so he can call up. If it needs to be towed, he can let the mechanic who's coming out to look at it know what they're looking for.
Right.
A roundabout. But if I can fix it, I'll definitely fix it.
Right. I'm not a mechanical guru or anything like that. I've called Rick several times. "Hey man, this is what's going on. Oh, this is the problem." And sure enough, it would be, because he's been around the truck long enough. He knows. And I'll fix it. I've got a tool bag. If I can't fix it, but I can't fix it. It is what it is.
I'm lost.
Yeah, right. And it also is going to depend on your company, which I know we've said this before, but
some companies won't allow you to work on your vehicle.
They don't. If you're not, well, not just that, but if you're there, like you're a driver, you're not a mechanic. You don't know what you're doing, even if you do know. I've worked for companies that don't even want you replacing lights on a trailer. Take it somewhere and let them replace it.
Well, that's DOT. If you get stopped by DOT, if you're not certified as a brake mechanic or certified to do that, I don't know. I haven't been on the road in about 5 years. But
I think they did away. Used to. I know what you're talking about. You had to have that.
Even a light bulb. Yeah, even a light bulb. You can't change it. You have to have someone come out and change a light bulb before you move that truck.
Yeah, I know that. A buddy of mine, he got popped and his brakes were out of adjustment, and he's not certified. And the DOT officer you can adjust them and just get going down the road.
It all depends on their call. But sometimes they can tell you don't get under that truck because you're not a mechanic.
And it might have been the officer, but like I said, I thought that they did away with the certification. They might not have. I haven't. Do you know? I haven't done any research. Do you know?
I haven't the slightest clue on that one.
See, I haven't researched it. And that's one biggest issue is everything out here is just a massive gray area. And we'll put give an example like the FMCSR, which is the little green book that we got to carry, all drivers carry in their truck. The way I read it, the way he reads it, and the way he reads it, and all three of us will come up with a different meaning for it.
Exactly.
It's always up to interpretation. It's a huge gray area.
I agree with you on that.
And that is horrible. But yeah, so
that's what makes our job so difficult sometimes is everything is up to opinion and
everything's up to discretion.
Discretion, thank you. I was like,
interpretation, discretion.
That word.
It all comes down to the final say, the boss. What he wants you to do,
the
that's it.
person
You
that
know, you can
signs
think
your
this,
check.
you can think that, and it all depends on what they say or he says or she says, and that's it.
Right.
Bottom
Now,
line.
we talked about in the last one, I'm going to bring this up because it's something else that we missed on. We talked about the older driving, or older traditions, rather. And me and this man right here was talking the other day about this, and I want to get your opinion. E-log versus paper, because you've ran paper and you've ran e-log. What's your opinion?
I don't drive because of e-log anymore. There's your answer. I think they should do away with that because the bottom line is I have so many outlooks on this, you just hit a sore spot.
Well, let's do it.
E-logs are ridiculous. They really are. When you are getting loaded, and you know it, you've guys sitting in places for 2, 3, 4 hours before you've gotten loaded. That all counts on your drive time. To
Counts
me,
on your 14.
that should be break time. I mean, you're not driving. You're not exhausting yourself. That's rest time as far as I'm concerned. That should be totally separate against your drive time. So now if you're sitting in a spot in a loading dock for 5 hours, you got 5 hours against your time, and now you only have 7 hours left on your time, and your stop is 8 hours away. You can't make it there. Now you have to shut down and lose a whole day.
Yeah.
You can't make money. I don't know how everybody gets paid differently, but if you're getting paid by the load, as long as that load is sitting on that truck, you're not making money until it gets off that truck.
Well, I get that. You know, I've ran both paper and e-logs. I like paper, but I don't have an issue with e-logs. And I know what you're saying, because it's nice to go, well, I'm tired and I want to lay down and take a 2-hour nap. That 2-hour nap didn't happen. I'll just show my drive time ending here instead of here. I didn't take that nap. So if I stopped at 10 and I stopped for 2 hours, then I really stopped at 8. I can understand that. But at the same time, and we can't do that with an e-log. If you're tired and you shut down, you just lost that time. And a lot of times you can't do that.
That's what I don't like.
And I don't like that either, but I don't have an issue running the e-log.
I do.
And I guess
I can run all day long. I mean, it doesn't matter, but the e-log to me is just another way of blocking you from making money.
Well, see, I was paid by the mile. I've never been paid by the load. I've always been paid by the mile that I turn. And which I guess in a way is the same thing, because if I sit for a day because I couldn't deliver because of something, then I'm still not turning miles.
Wheels ain't turning, you ain't making.
But there's a difference too. I started, and same with him, with mega fleets that only ran e-log. We didn't have a choice. I didn't go to paper log until I had been driving for a couple of years. And even then, when I went to paper log, it was like 2 or 3 months, and they put that ELD mandate in, and everybody had to run e-log. So that's one reason I don't have the issue. I didn't have the experience.
Well, you know what makes me laugh is they sit there and they talk about safety. What about all these people out on the road themselves, these cars driving at night, and they're driving how many hours they drive. They're tired, they're drunk, they're whatever. You know what I mean? And they cause more of a problem than anybody. They should make the laws like when you're driving down lanes and highways, trucks not allowed, cars only. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the New Jersey Turnpike.
I was about to bring
Okay.
it up as soon as you said that.
The Jersey Turnpike,
that
cars, trucks, and
section
buses.
of just
And cars in the middle. Why don't they just make the lane trucks and buses, and then the middle have the cars? No cars where the trucks are.
I've said that several
You know,
times.
like it doesn't make any sense.
That makes too much sense.
Exactly.
That would be
Exactly.
a logical, good idea that is completely against.
But all
public
these
policy.
people make up these rules. They sit on the computers, and it looks good on the computer, but it doesn't work in real life. You know what I mean? It's not realistic.
Well, I mean, most things
Does
that
not
look
work.
good on a computer don't work in real
Exactly.
life.
There you go.
Well, that's
Point taken.
That's engineers for you, bud. That's before I started driving, I know I've said before I worked as a lube tech at a car dealership, and I can't count the number of cars coming in, and you're burning yourself on the exhaust trying to get to the oil filter. And it's like, who had the bright idea to put the oil filter right here? Somebody who's never actually done it. So that's an engineering thing.
The Ford Ranger platform with the 4-liter and 4-wheel drive.
Yeah, we ain't talking about that. We're getting off topic. Let's recalculate and get back on topic here. Where were we at on topic?
There's a lot of
He's
things.
talking about the stupid.
There's a
people with
lot
the
of things
drivers
that
and stuff like
DOT should look over and ask drivers what their opinions about. They don't ask anybody's opinions, and they just do what they want to do.
Right.
They're not on the road. They don't see what goes on, and they should take surveys and see what drivers have to say instead of just making these laws. And you wake up one morning and there's 2 more laws coming on, and that's one of the reasons why I quit driving. There's just too much
regulation.
regulations, and even for business owners. I mean, they got to pay taxes for this. They got to pay for the insurance is crazy. The insurance for trucks is high because, and I'll be honest with you, cars cause most of the accidents with trucks. I don't care what anybody says.
I will concede that
They
a lot
cause
of the,
at least 45 to 50% of the accidents, and people say it's all the trucks.
No, I've
How
seen
come I have
several.
to take a drug test if someone hits me and I'm at a dead stop?
Yeah, I'm about to say I've seen several instances
come
where
on.
it's always a car or a car acting a fool.
Exactly.
You know, I passed one.
I love when they play chicken with you.
Yeah, I passed one a year or so ago.
I
and
just
it
keep
was
my foot on the accelerator and say, you're going to lose.
I passed one
care.
a year or so ago, and it was car was weaving in and out of traffic about 10 miles down the road. He was in a wreck with another car. It wasn't a truck, but another car. And without a doubt in my mind, it was that car's fault.
Of course.
Because the way he was driving previously. And a lot of people don't look at that. It's, you know, in the court of law, if you're talking about accidents, in the court of law, you're always innocent until proven guilty. If you're a truck driver,
You're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Hence why you see most drivers like me, you
run a dash cam.
run dash cams. You sit
They
there
should have
and
that.
you sit there and run a dash cam. You're always playing defensively
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to avoid the accidents. You're doing your best to avoid it because the amount of paperwork. I know you've seen the billboards and everything for the drivers of "We'll sue for you, been involved in a truck accident." That driver did absolutely nothing wrong. That driver was just driving down the road trying to make $1, and you're dumb. Your dumb
In through the
self,
nose, out through the mouth.
PG here, bro. PG.
your dumb self decided that I'm going to cut over in front of him. You didn't quite make it. You spun out completely and plowed yourself into the guardrail. But because it was that semi, I'm going to sue that
Yep.
company
That's all-
and
that's
that
all it is.
lawyer. And guess what? If you get a mega fleet corporation, they're just going to pay you the money.
That's what makes it
Because
harder
it's
for these
cheaper
mom and
just to-
pop shops. Yeah.
Exactly. Your mom and pop shops like us, we're going to fight. Plain and simple. Because it's not our fault.
I'm not paying for someone else's mistake.
The way those mega fleets that you're talking about look at it, David, is okay. We know how much we're going to pay in lawyers' fees. We know how much this is going to cost us. If the settlement is below what we're already going to pay to go to court, we'll just pay it and be done with it.
Nah,
Yeah.
And that's the way they look at
That's
it.
not right. You should
And
fight
no,
for
it's
that.
not right, but that's just the way they look at it.
Well, it ruins it for people like the mom and pop shops.
You're
it
right.
ruins it for them. It's not fair.
100% right. I got in an accident coming around Washington on 495, and it was almost like 4 o'clock in the morning. A car veered over into me, and he hit his driver's wheel hit my.
I remember
I'm sorry,
that.
his passenger wheel hit my driver's wheel,
I remember that.
and I think I did tell you about that. And I'm like, and I talked to him. He said, "I didn't see you." How did you not see me?
You shouldn't be driving if you didn't see
You
a
know,
80,000-pound vehicle, 100 feet long. You didn't see it. Give me your car and drive off a cliff now. That's it. It's over. You're
I
done.
think personally,
Bottom line.
Personally,
that's just. Oh, don't even.
I think he was texting. He said he was
nose,
going.
out through the mouth.
He said he was going to pick his buddy up to go to the beach.
You know how many taxi cabs I ran off the road in New York just because they just thought they were going to outbeat me? Right. Goodbye. See you on the sidewalk.
Yet again, northeast versus the south.
Exactly.
But I got lucky. I had dash cam footage to prove that I did not veer out of my lane. But when the officer got there, he was like, "Oh man, I didn't see him. I just merged over onto him," and he owned it. So I got lucky.
Yeah.
Because he could have
One out
very
of
easily
1,000.
said, "Oh, he come over on me," and now it's my word against his. If I wouldn't have had a dash cam,
The
to
toll
prove it.
booths are the best.
Toll
Now they
booths.
try and jump over. Oh, that one's got a line shorter. They jump on and bang, they hit the front of your truck.
I've been fortunate. As many toll booths as I've gone to, I've never had that happen.
Oh,
I've had them
that's
jump
another
over.
segment. That's another segment. I get you on that one too. Oh, this one hit the Columbus.
Yeah.
We are not going to discuss past major screw-ups. Mike is a lot older now. He's realized his mistakes.
Thank you, David.
Are we talking about the?
I mean, Rick, if we really want to bring back past
okay,
mistakes, we could always discuss.
Yeah, I can't say it in nice words. There's nothing nice to say
fair
about
enough.
it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
My biggest steak. Beep, beep, beep.
Yeah, I got you. You know, so it's we really went way off topic from going from e-logs to dumb drivers.
It all varies, and it's got to do with trucking.
Well, that's really the point of the show. I mean, we started off with the educational, help everybody out. Now it's like, the rejects and convicts have taken over. Let's have some fun.
Perfectly said.
I gotta give you that.
Perfectly said. I
You
gotta go
know,
on.
and that's the thing, guys. We did start this to give information, and we've given about all the information we can really give. I mean, we'll always think of something, and a lot of this is going to be talking about our experiences and what we see on the road.
Of course,
This is a great job to have, but just like a job, you're going to have bad days.
just like
Nothing's perfect. I mean, look at him. Nothing's perfect.
Look at me. Then it's perfect.
Speak for yourself.
Perfection. Hello.
Well, I mean, the atom bomb was perfect too. So
It did its job, didn't it? It worked. I mean, what are you gonna do? If it works, hey, it's good for me.
Hey, you did make a good point there.
There you go.
But I mean, just because it works doesn't mean it looks good.
And it doesn't mean it's good either. I agree with you on that.
Exactly.
I agree.
Hold on.
I agree.
I mean, we have the entire line of Toyota Priuses here.
Hold on.
I ain't going electric on that
How did we
one.
get here? How did we get here?
Just
Simple.
having fun
I told
talking.
you the convicts took over.
Oh my
God.
goodness. Okay, let's get back on subject here.
What subject?
Whatever we was talking about, I don't even know.
It'll
at
lead
this
us
point.
into something else.
Right, I'll lead you in. I'll try to. All right. So
Abbott and Costello over here.
who's on first?
What's on second?
I don't know.
Who?
Third base. Anybody who, all right, the younger generation probably don't know who Abbott and Costello is. Just go on YouTube,
Google it.
and no, go to YouTube and just type in who's on first and watch the skit. I promise you will laugh your head off. It's great. Squirrel. Okay, so
And they're worried about me.
You know what? I think, you know what, guys? I think at this point, we're not going to get back on subject.
y'all done got me so screwed up. I don't
We'll
even
make
know
that
how to
another
get back
segment.
on.
I think we will continue this another time. I think at this point, we're lost. We're done.
Yeah, y'all done got me so screwed up. So we're gonna stop it right
Not
here.
hard to do, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
Very true. Very true. Very true.
You know what? I think
you
we're
know
just
what?
following the footsteps of our boss. It's Mike's fault.
Don't.
Oh, so I got to talk to your boss later.
Just don't threaten me with a good time. We'll be all
There
right.
you go.
All right, y'all. We appreciate you riding along with us today. We really do appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. If y'all got something that you think we need to talk about, let us know.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, keep your shiny keep your shiny side up.